Hello everyone! Welcome back to this game. When we last left off, we kinda saved Kalinka from Grandis, but several people died, including, quite possibly, Sarah. Welcome to Chapter 7, To Dance in the Secret Garden. Where am I? Okay, guess she didn't die. Yay! Harry smiles. So, Kalinka Princess Sarah has finally revived from her greatest battle to date. Welcome back. Oh, it's you. Does this mean that monster slew you and your friends as well? Is this heaven? Okay, that is cute. Harry laughs. I would assume that you had also taken a mortal blow to the head as well in that fight. You still seem a little delirious. No, Sarah, you are still very much alive, still safe in your own bed. In your own house. Still in Kalinka. Sarah scrunches her nose. Thank you for clarifying that so well for me. No problem. It's been 5 days since the battle now. Or 5 minutes, depending on when you're watching this. And you've been out cold ever since. Not a sound stirring from you even once. We were beginning to fear the worst. I guess I have fought that battle rather recklessly. Just like that hot-headed kid Mr. Dusk. And so now I carry a few battle scars. Huh? Sarah suddenly sits upright. Wait! Father! Is he... Whoa, Sarah. Take it easy. Sarah slowly falls back to a lying position. How foolish I was to believe I had reached the afterlife. I still feel pain. We think that Lyle will make it. But it must be a miracle that I am still alive. So how could Father have been able to survive as badly wounded as he was? It was hardly a miracle. From the amazing effort that Dusk and the Goddess of Nobility have put into caring for you and Lyle day and night, I almost would not have been surprised to find if he had succeeded in raising you both from the dead. Mr. Dusk saved us? Yep. Hasn't stopped for a second in the 5 days. Whenever he had to see to Lyle, he made sure one of us stayed with you. Otherwise, Dusk has never left your side. Sigh. Sarah turns her head away. He really isn't such a bad person. Heh. Burrow's got every making of a dictator, more or less, than the Lord of Darkness himself. I'm sorry about your friends Millie and Warren, but they were gone the moment that Grandis cast a spell. There wasn't anything we could do. Nay, you've done so much for us, Lord Uri. Lord? I am in the debts of you and the others. Thank you. What we've done nothing truly heroic. That sentence is awkward. It was our duty. Had we turned our backs on you all, we would be no different from the ones who had brought such pain to Kalinka in the first place. Harry stands up. Now then, you should go see the others once you are feeling well enough to leave your bed. and Dusk will be very pleased to see that you've awoken as well. Lord Uri? Yeah, what? May I ask you just one question? Please tell me the truth. Did my coming this close to death do nothing else but bring me disgrace in you and your friend's eyes? Or do you think that I fought him well? I tell you one thing, I personally have never seen a girl fight quite like that before. You're really some kind of lady, you know that? Really? The others and I may be going up against the Dark Lord himself, but I still think any one of us alone would be hesitant to cross bare hands or magic with you. Besides, you were willing to stand against a monster as dangerous as Grandis to protect your father and the other Kalinkans, and that alone makes you a true warrior of light. Or something. Sarah looks doubtful. Well, you know, unlike most heroines of old, you just lack a dizzy personality and impossibly huge breasts. Excuse me. Excuse you indeed. That is this is an appropriate time for a teardrop. Oh, thank you. I am quite flattered. How rude of him. I was wondering why the screen was so far over to the left. It was to show that cutscene just being in that room, and now we're just in this room. Sir Rosser says, I'd just like to point out that every single character of dialogue in this game had to be picked out individually by scrolling over to it with the D-pad and entering it in. Yeah, it's been a long time since I mentioned that. This game was created with RPG Maker 1 on the PlayStation 1, which had no keyboard support, and so all the dialogue had to be inputted using a controller. And it's definitely impressive, and also largely accounts for the fact that this game took 10 years to make. There, that should ease Master Lyle's pain for now. So, how do things look? I am almost certain that he will make it. For someone whose entire body was set ablaze, Master Lyle is looking very well. Lynn shrugs. We were fortunate that things turned out this well, after such a terrible battle and all. I don't know. Even though 2 lives were lost, and Master Lyle and the princess are both badly wounded, I still cannot admit to this being nearly as tragic an incident as the one we faced at Poeska's Lake. You sure you can say that, little one? The girl most precious to you is in great pain now. Dusk turns red. But at least she still lives. The same could not be said for nearly 1,400 brave Elvenians who went up against Swanir's monstrous army and did not return. Ares softly says, Yes, that is true. Since the owners of this house are both unable to do so at the moment, should one of us say, come in their place? I think so. Come in! Phew. Too freaking cold out there. I don't know, I don't think it'd be that bad out there. I mean, well, I suppose it depends on how often this town is snowy. How far north are we exactly? Whatever. I got fur. You've been out there a long time. Did monsters give you and Miss Michiru trouble while you were out there patrolling the borders? I thought that it would be dangerous for you two to do this alone. And how would you be able to tell? You haven't even left this house since the very day Grandis Marwyn attacked. Perhaps, but the fruits of such labor will reveal themselves when she reopens her eyes. You'll see. But were you two really okay out there by yourselves? Yeah, man. Going outside anywhere in Elvenia without accompaniment is about as crazy as Dusk and Sarah were for trying to fight one of the Lunas Elru Knights by themselves, you know? It was nothing, really. Yes, some of the elves from Iski and the other neighboring villages were kind enough to come with Harrison and myself during our investigation. With their assistance, we were able to cover the area from Kalinka all the way back across Lalia to Meadows, and there's not a sign of Grandis or any of the wandering monsters anywhere. Something finally goes right for the heroes for a change. Not just the western half of Lalia, but the elves said that, with the help of some human Naraka knights led by Bolas and our old friend Elliot Bluebane, they have managed to liberate all of the rest of the continent as well. Oh, interesting that that dragon we fought earlier is still in the story. Lalia is entirely free of evil now. Huzzah! Really? That's great news! In spite of how he treated us so hostilely, I guess he was true to his vow to protect Lalia in the end, and we have to give him credit for that. It turns out that Elliot cares a lot more about the affairs of others than he'd let on, not just Lalians, so he fought alongside the elves and the knights without prejudice against Zenobia's demons. Elliot proved himself as soft as any of us angels when pushed to act. Definitely cool to know that we have a dragon on our side. I don't necessarily know that we'll actually see him again in this story, but still cool. Bolas was very kind to hurry back to Naraka and usher some of our friends from the Holy Army to come to Lalia with all possible haste and help the people of this land fight the monsters, especially after they'd already suffered through one battle. Were many lives lost this time? I hope not. No, not at all. In fact, very, very few among the elves and the 100 or so knights that had come from the Holy City were lost in the battle this time. Oh, and this might cheer you guys up. Hachiru and I never actually got to see Bolas face to face at any point, but he left word with Moon Maiden Alhana in case any of us saw her that Queen Lorana informed him of Jersey's wounds healing a lot better now, and she should be back on her feet in just a matter of time. And Bolas and those knights did all of this for us in just the 6 or 7 days that have passed since we left Sibyline Reef. We must thank them sincerely for their kindness. Anyway, I would like to hear of how things have been coming along here since we've been gone. How is the rebuilding of the village going, Lynn? Well, we were lucky that Grandis had become so involved in fighting just Dusk and Sarah that he'd seemed to have completely forgotten her original purpose for having come here, because the damage he caused really could have been a lot worse. Uri and I have been helping the reconstruction while Eri stayed to help Dusk take care of Lyle and Sarah. As you can see, every house in Kalinka is already looking almost as good as new. Yet, it is a shame that any sort of destruction or destructive tendencies could befall a land truly as beautiful as Kalinka. Incidentally, that was rather impressive whenever we arrived here. This place was in such big trouble, even the snow was on fire. Ah, please. It doesn't take a genius to figure out that it is someone in particular who makes Kalinka appear so beautiful to you. Another teardrop. Speaking of Sarah, will she be alright? Yes, she will wake up still here in Elvenia, and not playing a harp, sure enough. She will just be a bit crippled for some time. Let us hope she at least remembers who we are and where she is upon awakening. Nope, not really. And Lyle? It still is not completely certain, but his chances of living are very optimistic. There is, however, one thing that isn't so lucky. What? Master Lyle will likely remain paralyzed, and therefore much like Panaka is now. Grandis' magic burned one too many nerves in poor Lyle's body, it seems. In a way, the Kalinkans will never truly have their grandfather back. That's a shame. We should hope that Sarah will be able to bear the full responsibility of both Lyle and herself in the clerical services they perform from now on. Oh, even more bits! Thank you, Rosser. Sir Rosser says, again, every single character of this had to be picked out with a D-pad. Ah, yes indeed. It will certainly be tiring for Sarah in that case, but she isn't the type who would ever turn away anyone who will come to her in his physical suffering. Besides, even if Lyle can no longer help her in that capacity, Sarah will be glad just to still have her father with her alive. So, I guess all's well that ends well. Oh, Ari, you're here. What's wrong? Has something happened to Sarah? Yeah, she's awake. She is? I must see her. Wait, hold up, man. I believe there are a few things that Sarah wishes to think about before allowing herself to be tended to. She also needs some time to regain her senses. After all, passing out for nearly a week straight is probably something she has never had happen to her before. I know you mean well, but we will not know if something goes wrong if we leave her by herself. What if... Listen, she assured me that she will be perfectly alright by herself. You should know better than anyone that if Sarah were ever saddened about something, in peril, or feeling any kind of pain, she would not bear it in silence. She would reach for the hand of someone who cares for her and can take away her sadness, anxiety, or suffering, just as she herself helps those who reach for her hand. If she needs to, she won't hesitate to call for you. You know, this is a pretty speech directed at someone whom Sarah would make his first girlfriend. Ahem. Well, I don't think it is necessary for us to go into that any further, because it isn't like the whole world does not know that already. So, allow me and the kid here to switch over to another matter. Yeah, we were wondering if maybe the rest of you thought that Grandis might have just been talking a bunch of smack when he claimed that the Lunas Elru Knights were already one step ahead of us in finding a way back to Earth, and that they would slaughter whoever among our friends and families they could find once they got there, in order to deter us from trying to oppose the Dark Lord on the Elvanians' behalf any further. I doubt that he was lying. We already know that every member of the Lunas Elru Knights whom we have encountered so far are psychotic enough to have no qualms about not only slaying anyone who gets in the way of their plans, but also innocent people who do not even have anything to do with this whole struggle between Serena's children and the devil. So I don't think that Grandis would have come here to attack these completely helpless Kalinkans who never even did anything to oppose him before, if he did not also have the audacity to go spreading his usual aura of wanton chaos in another world, too. That is why, to tell you the truth, I must apologize for my selfishness in wanting to remain here to help Kalinka. It will be my fault if indeed lives have already been lost to the Lunas Elru Knights back in our own homeworld. Please understand, I am just as apprehensive as you all are about what could be happening there as we speak, but I could not abandon her or the Kalinkans. Sir Rosser says the story took approximately 800 years to type. Give or take. There's no need to be sorry. We care about these people who we call the Kalinkans as well. Well, I would have to hope you call them Kalinkans, because otherwise, what would you call them? What would have been wrong was if we had chased after Grandis and a mere rumor he'd left behind, because for all we know, he might be just trying to lead us into some sort of a trap. Yet, as for the Kalinkans, we saw ourselves the terror that befell them. We simply had to stay and help. And I think the GAs understood this as well, that we were honestly trying to do what we thought in our hearts was most right, even if it meant abandoning the people we love still on Earth when they might possibly be in danger. That is why you kept silent and made no advisement either way, right, Priyan? Besides, how could Grandis or the others even begin to know who coming of all of the Elvenians belonging to us? I changed message boxes too soon and lost track of what that message was. So what can they do even if they did know a way to get across the path of Eden to Earth? They can still cause all of the random destruction that Dusk earlier described, and if the magic they use to travel across Eden lands them in the same location on Earth where Grandis first took you three away to Elvenia, then the ones close to us will certainly be close by enough to get caught up in the Knight's wrath. I can't believe I just pronounced that Knights. And that's what I have been meaning to tell you all. Although the elves, Michiru, and I did not actually investigate the forest relics while we were out the last few days, because the entire Iski forest had already been free of monster for a long time while we were traveling through, Michiru and Sam spotted several light tracks made in the soil all throughout the woods, and Michiru said they appeared to closely match the footprints that your typical Ogre demon, Dryad woman, and tall elf would leave behind. And so, it is an indication that at least 3 of the knights, assuming that the Dryad woman is actually Wraith Safedorn, may have gone to the forest relic. This sucks. If the footsteps found in the forest really did belong to the Lunas Elru Knights, did that say Elru twice? Then I would say this proves that going back to the Earth is just what Lord Zenobia wants us to do. Otherwise, Wraith and the others aren't so stupid as to leave their tracks completely uncovered. Uri muses. So they are actively trying to draw our attention to them. So it's all settled. The moment I believe it is safe to leave Lyle and Sarah to themselves, we must go after the enemy. I hope Kalinka will be okay without us. That may be several days from now, though, and enough time has passed for the knights, gosh dang it, to have gotten way ahead of us already. Look, if you are still so concerned for the princess and her father, then why not stay here and let the 3 of us go on back to the other world to take care of this problem? Besides, like Michiru and I said before, Zenobia's demons are nowhere to be found in Lelia anymore, so you do not even have to worry about them coming back to Kalinka and finding you while none of the rest of us are around. Actually, Uri, it's your call whether I stay or go with you all. After all, you're the group leader. Man, when was that title given to me, huh? Well, why not take up the responsibility? You certainly didn't have any problem bossing the rest of us around nearly every step of the way in this whole crazy story so far. Well, what can I say? Somebody had to be there to keep the rest of you guys in line, else you would never have made it this far. Please, Jersey would have done a better job at that than you. And she can barely walk into a school without accidentally blowing it up with her magic. Wow. That is certainly a thing you are saying there. Ari is flustered. And only someone as handsome and charismatic as myself is qualified to be the leader here anyway. Ow. Yes, of course. Someone who suspiciously looks like the illegitimate son of a Sasquatch is certainly the best looking one of us. Urgh. Sigh. Sister Priyan. I hear a sound coming from Sarah's room. Hello, everyone. Demons of Velvania, beware. The Kalinkan princess still lives. Okay, we need to end this episode on a high note, considering the down note the last one ended in. We will be right back, and when we come back, hopefully more high notes.